Hey guys, I know it's been a while since I have put a video out and I thought it's probably time to do a bit of a life update and to share with you what's going on. So the last video I put out was about our garden, and I had kind of been saying I needed to do an update video and I never got around to it. So here's kind of what's happened. So as you can tell by the title of this video, we technically, we have a home. You can see I'm filming somewhere, but we're currently living in an Airbnb temporarily because our house sold and we were unable to secure another home before we had to go out. That's kind of the gist of it, but there's a lot more to that. So if I just go back a bit, when we moved to New Brunswick in 2021, we got a 4-year term for our mortgage. So in Canada, there's like the amortization, but then you have terms within that. And at the end of that term, your lender offers you a new deal and you can take that or you can go find like somewhere else to get a loan from. And I think that they knew interest rates were going to be rising because they're typically 5 years, but ours was a 4-year in order to get a lower rate. There were some things about the house we bought that just were not working. It was a raised bungalow. I've had a lot of problems with my knees that have gotten worse over the last few years, and every single entrance to our house had stairs. And there were stairs going up, but then one entrance had stairs going down to the basement, and surprisingly, depending on what's going on with my knees, sometimes it's harder for me to actually go downstairs than to go upstairs. So that really wasn't working. Location, we had wanted to be near the ocean, and we found that we were still making it to the ocean like only once or twice a year because of the distance and commitments and all that. So we decided we wanted to move. Now our mortgage was up for renewal the middle end of October. And we thought, okay, well, we'll list the house like the end of June. So then we'd have July, August, September, and into October to sell the house and to find a new place. But then as we started talking about it, and we started talking like before Christmas, so last fall, when we came to just after Christmas and we started talking about it again, we kind of thought, well, house sales are there's more going on in the summer, it's more active. And that if we moved in the summertime, it would give our kids a chance to start any activities that they wanted to be a part of come September. And so we ended up listing our house the very end of March with the moving date the end of July. The day after we listed our house, we had 4 showings. And one person never showed up. They were all like in a row, but the other 3 did. And one wrote an offer right away, like before we even got home, we had an offer. Another person, they weren't sure, and the last one, they were kind of thinking if they wanted to offer or not. Now, it kind of reminded us when we had to get everyone out of the house and clean the house, and it was wintertime and kids' activities, how difficult it was going to be to have showings. Particularly, my husband works from home, and it's not just like he does work on a computer, he has actual client sessions that he needs a private office for. So when we got the first offer, it was what we were asking. And we thought, if we accept this offer right now, we don't have to worry about doing showings. We don't have to worry about trying to get everyone out of the house and all that stuff. So we decided to accept it. So within about a week and a half after, our house had officially sold. Now, as soon as we listed our house, we started looking for a house to buy, and it did not go well. Just like how our house sold right away, this is what we were finding out the market was like. We thought it had maybe slowed down a bit since we bought during COVID. No, it had not. And so being 2.5 to 3.5 hours away from where we wanted to live, it made it more difficult. So a house would come on the market during the week and we would set up viewings for Saturday. And by the time, I think one day we set up 4 or 5, and by the time Saturday came, there was only one still available. They were selling so quickly. And so we were having a really, really hard time. We thought, well, maybe we need to look maybe in PEI or Nova Scotia. And so we started expanding our area. We went and looked at some houses, but nothing was really what we wanted in our budget and what we needed. and available because things, again, they kept selling. We did put one offer in the day a house came out, and it was not accepted. They had multiple offers. So we were getting pretty desperate, and we asked, I think it was the last week of June, we asked our buyers, would they, by chance, be willing to move our closing date to the end of August? So we had another 4 weeks to keep looking for a house, and they actually said yes, which we're really grateful for. When we accepted their offer, they wrote us a letter and stuff, and we just felt like they were the right people for the house. A really nice young couple, had a child, family nearby, and I think we both felt really good about it, and I'm glad that we went that route instead of perhaps waiting to see, excuse me, if someone else offered more, because they ended up saying yes to us later on. And so we moved our closing date to August 28th. Now, we kept looking, and about a week later, we found a house. It was over what we wanted to pay, but we kind of felt like we were running out of options. And so we put an offer in, and they accepted. And we thought, okay, we found a place, great. So we were supposed to get possession the 18th of August. We started having things kind of go wrong. It was more than we had wanted to spend, and it had no appliances. It had no like towel bars and like shower bars and like basic things, and it was really adding up. But we had a house. So we ordered all the appliances, we went back and measured, we did things. We found out there was an issue with the water before the sale went firm, and so there was uranium in the water as well as very, very high levels of manganese. And so the sellers agreed to split the cost of a filtration system half and half with us. We went with the company that we had already used, and so we knew really good quality, and they said they could fix it for us. So we said, okay. It was a dug well, and we were just under the impression we would be putting a drilled well in, that they had just gone the cheaper route and done a dug well. We found out afterwards that we could not do a drilled well in that area, that there's insufficient water in that area. And that's a big deal for us. So there were like all these little things. We had trouble for weeks and weeks, like over 3 weeks. I could not get the internet set up at this new house. There were just all these little things that were happening. And we were feeling like maybe we'd made the wrong choice. But we have 5 kids, we have a cat, we can't just be homeless. And so we would just continue through with it. Well, the day that we went to sign the papers, so about a week, not even a week, a couple days before the closing on this new house, I got a call literally minutes as I was walking out the door to go to the lawyer's office from the person doing the filtration system, who said, you know what, I was taking a look at this, and I think we're gonna have to do a second filtration system, that I just can't be 100% sure we can get rid of all of these issues with this one system. And I was like, ugh. And then we started talking about, well, we can't get the drilled well like we'd planned. And he was saying, well, there's no point in putting any system in if you don't have sufficient water, which we've been in a major drought here, and so wells are going dry, because you need water to flush the system out. And so we were really frustrated. We went to the lawyer and we said, you know what are our options? And so we talked to her, thought about it, talked to our realtor, and we decided to ask the sellers who we were buying from to release us from the contract to buy. They eventually said yes. We did lose our deposit. And of course we lost, the home inspection, the water cost, the lawyer cost, because they had already done all the paperwork and the work. So we lost quite a bit of money, but we felt okay with it. We felt it was worth it. But then here we are, it was August, 18, 17, 16. So it was the 15th, August 15th. We have to be out of the house by the 28th, and we have nowhere to go. And it's not like we have family around. We did have a friend very graciously offer to let us stay with them if we needed to, but with homeschooling, being a big family, my husband working from home, we just didn't feel like it was a viable option to kind of overtake their space for who knows how long. And we also knew from how quickly houses were selling that we really needed to be in the area that we wanted to live in order to be able to go see houses right away and not have like that long gap of time to drive or to make plans to come. And so it began the scramble and the frantic, what are we gonna do? We ended up, well, I guess part of the story too is when we pulled out of that deal, that realtor was kind of at a position where he was going to be taking a step back and not working so much, and so he released us from our contract with him. So we had to find a new realtor on top of all this as well. So we went with someone, and she was fantastic. She has been amazing. She had a connection to someone who had an Airbnb, and I was able to speak with him, and we secured this place for 2 months, but it was only available September 1st. So we had the 27th we had to be out because the closing was the 28th through to September 1st. We had to find somewhere. We ended up finding a little, very, very small like cottage place right by Parley Beach in Shadiac or Pointe de Chêne, and we stayed there for 5 days. It was difficult, but it was absolutely amazing. We walked to the beach. It was a wonderful like vacation time for us because we had just come out of a super stressful time. For the last week, my husband was making 1, sometimes 2 trips a day with a borrowed trailer to a storage unit. And we were trying to put things in there and get everything in. We sold a lot of things we hadn't planned to sell last minute. We had actually come out and looked at some like 6-month rentals, and we just didn't want to get caught into a 6-month rental because then you have trouble again trying to arrange when you can get a house and when the market's like this. We just knew that wasn't gonna work. So we had an amazing week, and then we moved into this Airbnb. As of right now, we do have an offer in on a house that's been accepted. There's still a process to go through. We have all of our conditions. And here in New Brunswick, I find they're just really far behind Canada in a lot of ways. And paperwork's one of them. We actually don't even know the age of the house because the paperwork just isn't there, like the records. So we still have, you know, inspection and water and all these things, financing, insurance to go through. But at least we have a place. It came on the market. We saw it, I think it was 2 hours after it came on the market. We were there looking at it. Like, that's how crazy the market is. I don't know how much I'm going to share about the house. I probably will share in videos, different things. It's a 1 acre, so it does have a garden and it has some fruit trees. And I'm going to, of course, work on making a beautiful big garden and making use of that acre the best that we can to feed our family. I have been missing the garden so much. I've been missing baking and sourdough and so many things. So I'm really looking forward to that, and I'll share those. But the house is a 1 level, which is what we needed for the most part. And there's a garden. It's 1 acre, so it's manageable for us as we get older. I hope it works out because I'm excited about it. So there's our update. We have a roof over our heads, but it's been a stressful experience. We have just a few of our things here, the bare minimum. Pretty much everything is in the storage units. If you want more of like kind of daily updates, follow me over on Instagram because I'm a lot more active over there. I will get back to doing videos once we've moved and settled down. I may consider doing a video of what our life looks like here if you're interested, how we're homeschooling in a temporary space. I do apologize for the quality of this video. I don't have my camera because it's in my storage unit, so I'm using a very old phone that I have. But there's the explanation of where we've gone. My kids have been so resilient. We've been having a wonderful time. The place we're staying now is in a city or a very large town. I don't know what you call it, but we're having fun like walking and visiting the library and things like that, which is a different experience. And I'm just glad that everything kind of worked out. It's funny how things happen because if we had stuck to our original plan of moving out like the middle of October, we might have just ended up in this house as well that we're hoping to get, which is kind of funny. Anyways, there's my explanation of where I've gone. Yeah, I talk with my hands, but they're usually under where the camera can film. If you have questions, you can leave them. But otherwise, I hope that this finds you having a great day. If you're homeschooling, I hope your new homeschool year is going well. We are homeschooling, we still are, just on a little bit of a scaled back scheme of things. All right, you guys, take care. Bye.